my whole first year, I didn't have a planner. And I was asking every classmate, what's next? What's due next? Every single time. I can imagine how annoying I was, because now that I think about it, I would be annoyed if my classmate asked me every time an assignment was due, okay? How's it going, YouTube fam? China, Doctor of Physical Therapy, coming to you live. This video is about how I graduated with a 3.7 GPA in PT school. Before we get into it, if you enjoy this content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely appreciate the love and support. Alright? Now, let's get into it. We're going to break it up into a few parts, alright? The first thing I would say is to pay attention to the way you take your notes. Note taking is very key. I would say stick to the way that you took notes in undergrad or graduate school prior to PT school, because you got here for a reason. You got to physical therapy school for a reason. Stick to the routine that you did. If you love using flashcards, if you love using Google Docs, whatever you do, stick to that. So for undergrad, basically I wrote on paper with a pencil, pen and paper. PT school is a little bit more fast-paced. You have a lot more information to take in one class. So I had to kind of adapt to that. With my laptop, I actually used the slides that they gave us, and then I used the little notes area and took my notes there. So that's how I wanted to take my notes, and it worked for me perfectly fine. So if you have to adapt, figure out one way and stick to it. The next thing I would say is to study every day, almost every day, okay? Think about it like this. You have classes Monday through Friday from maybe 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's like a full-time job. You gotta imagine, if you're taking in information for those hours all day, you have to study that as soon as you get home, or take an hour break and then study. Just make sure you study in that day that you got the content. Because imagine, you get content on Monday, right? You say you wanna just chill, I'll save it till tomorrow. Well, you have to go to class tomorrow as well, from 9 to 5, the same hours. So now you have 2 days of content to study. And then you can get behind just like that if you don't study every day. So yes, I say study every day, maybe take a break Friday. That's what I did. I studied Monday through Thursday, took a break on Friday because we're leading into the weekend. The only times I would not take a break on Friday is if I had a test the following Monday and I needed to go over that content a lot more. But take a break on Friday because you need breaks sometime. So whatever day you feel comfortable taking your break, make sure you get that break in. Don't overload yourself. Don't stress yourself out. Make sure you do some things that you enjoy, like some hobbies outside of PT school, because that will help you lower your stress levels. So on Saturdays and Sundays, I would probably study afternoonish or a little bit in the morning sometimes so I could have the evenings free. So study, study, study. The next thing I did was study independently. I made sure I understood all of the material, or went through it all at least, before I grouped up with other people to study. Because ultimately for me, group studying is very distracting, okay? And I don't like wasting time. When I do something, I sit down and do it. I want to get through it, and then after, we can have fun, we can play, or whatever, So I made sure I went through everything before I grouped up with others. And then when I did group up with others, it was just a review. It's not like we're teaching each other new things because we already went through it. We're kind of understanding it a little better maybe, but not just now initially going over something, because that takes more time from us getting done with everything we need to do. So independent studying was what I like to do. That was definitely for me. If that works for you, stick to that and then review with other people. Now, if you're a group studier, you feel like you can do better with that, then stick to it. You got it. So another reason I got a 3.7 GPA, I stayed after class sometimes. And that was to practice like practical type material. And practical is like hands-on training type things. So we had some tests that we actually have to go through, acting it out and playing it out like as if we were really with a patient. So stuff like that, I actually stayed after class with some classmates to practice the hands-on training, because I needed to know that. We needed to understand that because we wanted to translate into our clinicals, and that's what we did. So that was very helpful. Another thing I would suggest is having a planner. A planner can definitely keep you on track, make sure that you know what's coming up next, make sure that you study for the next test, the homework assignments, anything. It keeps you on track, because honestly, my whole first year, I didn't have a planner. And I was asking every classmate, what's next? What's due next? Every single time. I can imagine how annoying I was, because now that I think about it, I would be annoyed if my classmate asked me every time an assignment was due, okay? So don't be that person, because I was. But after the first year, I decided, you know what? I need to stop depending on other people to tell me when something's due. I need to get myself together. So I started typing up my schedule on a Microsoft Word document, and yeah, I stuck to that, and that actually helped me a lot. I didn't have to ask anybody else about what's coming up. Some people could ask me and I would be able to tell them. So I did a whole 180. Like, it was a good thing that I did that. But yeah, that's definitely needed, I would say. Definitely have a planner so you can stay on top of your work, keep grinding, and get things done. And the last thing I would say is clinicals. Those are pretty much, I don't want to say easy A's, but they're easy A's, okay? If you're doing your work in school, if you've been practicing like how I did, I made sure I stayed after school, I studied, I did practical hands-on training, I made sure I did all of that. It translated to the clinic. Even though I was nervous in the beginning of my first clinicals, the clinical instructors would know that, and they would be helping you, they will guide you. And then some of that information from school definitely needs to translate. It should, you know what I mean? It should click somehow. So that's what it did for me. Clinicals started becoming easy. They started flowing, and then it was an easy A for me. My clinical instructors would grade me highly, and it was really nice to see that translate from the didactic courses to the actual clinical setting. So that's what I would say that you need to do for the clinicals. Make sure you get your work done, your assignments done during the clinical, and make sure you're not harming any patients, and you're pretty good to go. As long as the information you got, like I said, translated to the clinic as well, it shows your skill, you'll be just fine, and it's an easy day, all right? So that pretty much wraps up everything that I did to get a 3.7 GPA. Made sure I took notes the way that I felt comfortable. It was beneficial to me. I did independent studying, occasional group studying, especially for the hands-on type material, and then also got a planner, and clinicals, they definitely boosted the GPA a little bit. That's what worked for me. I stuck to it and I did it. You can do it too. But if you like the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and comment down below what you did to get your GPA, and it'll be very helpful to anybody that's watching. And until next time, I'm out.